The Three Brothers and the Hidden Power of Their Birthmark. Chapter 1. The Three Amazing Brothers. In a cozy little town surrounded by green hills, there lived three super close brothers named Keon, Kinno, and Kian. They were known for their strong bond and love for each other. The brothers lived with their wonderful grandparents, Lolo Romeo and Lola Pazita, who always taught them about the importance of family, being kind, and staying strong. One bright and sunny morning, as the school bell rang, the three brothers excitedly headed to school. Keon, the oldest brother, was like a protective guardian, making sure his younger siblings were safe and happy. Kinno, the middle brother, was curious and loved to explore new things, and Kian, the youngest, had a heart full of kindness and courage. As the day went on, the brothers had their own adventures at school, each learning new and exciting things. But something unusual was happening. In the middle of his class, Kinno had a strange feeling that something wasn't quite right. Trusting his feelings, he decided to check on his little brother, Kian. At the same time, on the schoolyard, Kian found himself surrounded by a group of 5 kids who seemed to want to cause trouble. They were being mean to him for no good reason, and it made Kian really worried. But Kian was a brave little guy, and he wouldn't let anyone push him around. With an angry voice, Kinno shouted, "Hey, what are you guys doing to my little brother?" Just when things were getting tough, a quick blur of motion caught everyone's attention. It was Keon, the big brother and the fastest of them all. He landed a strong punch on 2 of the bullies, surprising them and making them back away. The arrival of Keon surprised the bullies, but they weren't ready to give up just yet. The 3 brothers joined forces, standing up for each other. The odds were no longer against them, but the challenge had just begun. The 3 brothers fought bravely, supporting each other with all their might. With their teamwork and a strong sense of unity, they pushed back the bullies who were being mean. Step by step, they gained the upper hand, and the bullies started to back away, feeling sorry for what they had done. Chapter 1. Act 2. In the shadows. The sun began to set behind the hills as the 3 heroic brothers made their way home. Keon led the way, brushing some dirt off his clothes and smiling proudly. Kinno and Kian followed closely, still laughing and talking about their day's adventures. "Kinno," Kian said with a grin, "if you and Keon didn't show up, I would have had to give those 5 kids a good talking to all by myself." Kinno chuckled, "You're absolutely right, Kian. But I couldn't let you handle them alone, could I?" Keon looked back at his younger brothers and chimed in, "You guys were awesome today. We make the best team ever." The 3 brothers continued to chat and laugh as they headed home, not aware that someone was watching them from the shadows in the forest. The forest was getting darker as the sun set, but their laughter and jokes brightened their path. As they walked into the evening, their playful banter and the bonds they shared made their journey feel like an exciting adventure. Little did they know that this was only the beginning, and the mysterious figure in the forest would soon become a part of their exciting story. Chapter 2. Home Sweet Home. In a quaint little town surrounded by lush, rolling hills, there sat a charming, small house on top of a gentle hill. A long, winding path, lined with colorful flowers that swayed cheerfully in the breeze, led up to the house. All around the house, the grass was as green can be, and in a tiny corner, they had some vegetables growing. It was a cute little patch of their garden. In the backyard of this lovely house, the 3 boys, Keon, Kinno, and Kian, had turned a part of their world into a playground. They had built an amazing wooden training circuit with balance beams, hurdles, and targets. It was like an obstacle course made of wood, where they practiced, played, and had lots of fun. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of gold, the 3 brothers made their way up the hill. Their excitement was palpable as they got closer to their home. Their laughter was like music in the air. When they reached the front door, their loving grandparents, Lolo Romeo and Lola Pazita, were there to greet them. Lola Pazita's eyes twinkled with love as she enveloped the boys in a warm hug. But, oh, she couldn't help but notice their clothes, all messy and looking like they'd been through quite an adventure. "My sweethearts," Lola Pazita asked with a gentle smile, "what happened to your clothes?" Keon, the big brother, shared a knowing look with his younger siblings and said with a grin, "Don't worry, Lola, it's just that we had a little unexpected fun today." Lola Pazita's heart swelled with love for her grandsons, grateful that they were safe. But she still couldn't help but worry a little. Just then, Lolo Romeo, the wise grandfather, came up to Keon and whispered with a playful twinkle in his eye, "So, who won the big adventure today?" Keon's eyes sparkled, and he replied with pride, "Of course, Lolo. Who else?" Inside the cozy house, the delicious smell of dinner filled the air. Lola Pazita had prepared their favorite meal, and it was like a warm, comforting hug. The family gathered around the table, and as they enjoyed their meal, the laughter and love they shared filled the room. The three brothers and their loving grandparents gathered around, sharing smiles and laughter. Their world was filled with joy, and they felt safe and happy. Yet, in the nearby forest, an ominous presence was closing in, hidden from view. It watched the family from afar, a silent warning of danger on the horizon. The air seemed to grow heavy with an impending threat, a shadowy force ready to disrupt their peaceful lives. Chapter 3: Brothers in Danger. The following morning, as the sun began to rise, the three brothers, Keon, Kinno, and Kian, made their way to school, their backpacks filled with excitement and the promise of a new day. The events of yesterday's encounter with the troublemakers had become a distant memory, replaced by the hope for a peaceful day ahead. However, as they walked down the familiar path to school, a sense of unease began to creep over them. From the shadows of a dark alley, the group of 5 troublemakers from the previous day emerged. They had been lying in wait, seeking revenge, and they were not alone. They had brought reinforcements, kids from a nearby school affiliated with them, forming a crew united by mischief and chaos. The troublemakers, now joined by their newfound allies, formed a formidable group. It became clear that they were there to cause trouble, and they appeared ready for a confrontation. The 3 brothers, feeling outnumbered and threatened, instinctively stepped back, and Keon, the eldest, moved to the front, positioning himself as a protective shield for his younger siblings. With determination and a strong voice, he asked, "What do you guys want?" The kids from the troublemaking crew responded with laughter and taunts. One of them sneered, "You know what we're here for." He glanced around, and then, with a sly grin, added, "Okay, let the fun begin." With a group of over 10 kids now advancing towards them, some leaping off fences and others stretching in readiness for a fight, the 3 brothers braced themselves for a new challenge, their bond stronger than ever, ready to face whatever lay ahead.